I'm David Coatney, and I'm a web designer. The beauty of web design is that my clients are scattered all over the country. That gives me the ability to live where I want, travel where I want, and do work on the road. Along the way, I like to check out unique places, so I encourage you to join me on these adventures. Everyone knows about mainstream hotels and franchise restaurants, but I want to hit up the truly unique. From weird restaurants and lodging to unusual laws, history, and towns, this is the states you think you know. This week, we're in the state of Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas. It's the second largest state both in population and in size. From wide open plains to major urban areas, Texas has something for everyone. Its story is one of the most unique in our country's history. It was the only state to join the U.S. by annexation, having spent the previous 10 years as an independent country. But we'll begin this week's adventure with something else Texas is known for: great food. Today, we'll be stopping off at the small town of College Station to grab some lunch. Today, I'm at Harvey Washbangers, ranked as one of the weirdest restaurants in America. And yes, they do have some unique burgers and beers, but that's not why I'm here today. I've got laundry to do. You see, Harvey Washbangers isn't just a restaurant, it's a laundromat with 80 state-of-the-art washers and dryers. And check this out, each machine comes equipped with the ability to take credit and debit cards. Now, if you don't have time to stick around, no problem. You can drop it off. They offer a full wash, dry, and fold service. But if you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, load the machine, head to the restaurant. You can eat and drink while you wait. Get your suds started in here so you can enjoy some suds out there.
Harvey Washbangers actually started as a franchise 20 years ago. So a gentleman started the franchise and 8 locations were started, and this was the only one that managed to stay alive after 6 months. The owners have taken it over and have revamped the place and the menu and kind of made it more of a home feel for everyone to come to. Having the restaurant with the laundromat helps keep customers around. It gives them a way to relax and eat while they're doing their laundry. Food selection is basic burgers, but with our own twists. So everything's made in-house.
And this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. They have a light board in the restaurant that tells you when your clothes are done. Each light corresponds to a specific machine. When your light is on, that means your machine is on. When your light goes off, get up, move them over to the dryer, come back, have a beer. It's actually a pretty genius idea. I mean, let's face it, everyone hates going to the laundromat. If you can enjoy great food and great beer while you wait, it actually makes you look forward to laundry day. Speaking of food, I'm getting kind of hungry. They have some pretty interesting burgers on the menu, but perhaps one of the most popular burgers is the Cajun burger, which comes with an andouille sausage and Angus patty. It's mixed with lettuce, tomato, mayo, pepper jack cheese, and fried crawfish on top. But as interesting as that sounds, I'm actually in the mood for an all-beef hot dog today. They have a BYO dog option where you can choose your own toppings, so I'm gonna go with chili, Fritos, and jalapenos. I'm not sure if I was in the mood for a hot dog or just a Frito pie, but this should be good either way. Thank you. And look, it even comes on a challah bun. Challah. All right, here we go. From now on, this is the only way I'm doing hot dogs. This is delicious.
A lot of the feedback we hear is how great of a concept this is. We get a lot of people that come in from out of town. They're like, oh, this would do great in any college town that we're from. And people love the idea. We actually get more families than we do college students. You would think with being in a college town, you get a lot of college students, but we get a lot more families that come through.
Well, this was a great place to stop for lunch. Their motto says it all: eat, drink, do laundry. And their guarantee is to turn your chores into cheers. You know, I could have never imagined looking forward to laundry day before now, but if I lived here, I imagine I'd probably find reasons to do laundry more often. Every state has strange laws still on the books, things that make us scratch our heads. They're rarely enforced, but still entertaining. These are the strange laws of Texas. A recently passed anti-crime bill states that criminals must give their victims at least 24 hours notice, either verbally or in writing, to explain the nature of the crime to be committed. After all, just because you're a criminal doesn't mean you can't still be polite. It's improper to show up unannounced. The entire Encyclopedia Britannica is banned in the state of Texas because it contains a formula for making beer at home. Considering how big microbrewing is in the state of Texas now, it's what's fairly comedic to still be on the books. In Mesquite, it is illegal for children to have unusual haircuts. Now, I'm not sure how you define unusual, but I think it's pretty safe to say the mullet probably should have been banned a long time ago. In Port Arthur, obnoxious odors may not be emitted while in an elevator. Of course, you know the problem with enforcing this law is you got to figure out who done it. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. In Galveston, no person may throw trash from an airplane. I think if you're able to throw trash from an airplane, trash probably isn't your biggest concern right now. After running some errands, it was on to the largest city in Texas, Houston. Our first stop in Houston was recently voted the #1 German restaurant in America. I'm talking, of course, about King's Biergarten. King's Biergarten is an authentic German experience where you can expect live polka music, great food and drink, great atmosphere, and great people. The waitstaff wears traditional dirndls and lederhosen. The guests join in the celebration by doing the chicken dance. Here, every day is Oktoberfest. And while I won't need my passport for this trip, I will need my appetite. Prost! King's Biergarten actually started as King's Hand Car Wash in 2009. They did more than just wash cars though. They had a full garage that also handled oil changes and detail work. The one thing they didn't have was air conditioning. So owner Hans Sitter came up with the idea of serving cold beer to help their patrons beat the heat while waiting for their car. And on certain days of the week, they would offer free bratwurst to their customers. And in 2011, King's Biergarten was born. What started as a 45-seat restaurant has since turned into this bustling attraction you see today, and now seats around 350 people.
The inspiration came really, what I missed here is my Wiener Schnitzel, and then I figured out that you have every chain what you can think about it, for Italian food, French food, everything. You have fish restaurants, you think, but a really typical, comfortable Austrian, German restaurant I couldn't find. Austrian cuisine, you said it already, and you have to think about the Viennese cuisine, and we're having a food what is created from the time when Austria was an empire. It was a mixed culture with the best food in the world.
The Sitter family uses authentic family recipes in their schnitzel, brats, and strudel. As for me, I'll be going with what has been affectionately named the Inglorious Bastard. The secret ingredient in this bad boy? Jaeger. Let's give this a try.
Our place is so unique. Again, it is the entertainment and it's the atmosphere. I really think it is like I save you thousands of dollars to fly to Munich or to Vienna. You can experience here in Pearland.
And of course, it wouldn't be a beer garden if they didn't offer a wide selection of beers. And in typical German fashion, they offer liters and half liters. But I'll be going with
Das Boot. 2.5 liter. But our rules. Before you take a sip, we're doing a zicke-zacke.
Okay.
Like in Oktoberfest, okay?
I'm down.
Got it?
All right, got it.
Zicke-zacke, zicke-zacke!
Oi, oi, oi!
Zicke-zacke, zicke-zacke!
Oi, oi, oi!
Zicke-zacke, zicke-zacke!
Oi, oi, oi!
Prost! Now you can drink. Oh, you can drink too.
Ooh,
Good?
great.
Yeah, sehr.
You weren't expecting this all in one take, were you? I still have another shoot after this. I better nurse this a little bit. Austin is home to the world's largest what? Is it A, cowboy hat, B, parking lot, C, squirrel population, or D, urban bat colony? The answer when we return. My next stop was a good 4-hour journey from Houston to the small town of Fredericksburg. Despite the small population, Fredericksburg is considered by many to be the unofficial food and wine capital of the state, with 15 wineries and many award-winning restaurants. The town is steeped in German heritage, and it's obvious from the architecture to the local celebrations to the culture itself. And while I would take in a couple of wineries, that's not why I'm here today. Today, I'll be staying in an authentic pioneer log cabin at Settlers Crossing, a historical B&B that Travel and Leisure magazine ranked as one of America's top 10 bed and breakfasts. Settlers Crossing is a charming bed and breakfast that sits on 35 acres of rolling pastures and flower gardens deep in the Texas Hill Country. This property features 7 historic guest houses, most dating back to the 1800s. The property itself is gorgeous. There's a creek running through and plenty of animal life around. You'll see native deer roaming the property, there's a flock of sheep, and of course, Bridie, the resident donkey. And while Bridie fancies herself the bright spot of the trip, the main reason people come here are for these historic cabins. Let's take a look.
Settlers Crossing was established in 1980 by the previous owner, David Bland, who restored 4 original houses on the property and moved in 4 houses from different locations across the country.
The houses come with wood-burning fireplaces, enchanting outdoor seating areas, and magnificent 18th and 19th century antiques. They also provide a lot of diversity, from the von Heinrich home, a 1787 house featuring construction favored by German pioneers, to the Kusenberger log cabin, an 1850 cabin with the original stone floors, and the Bowl cabin, a romantic house also dating back to 1850. I will be staying in the Pioneer Log Cabin, which is an enchanting log and rock cottage built around 1860. This cabin has a restored wine cellar, a fireplace in each bedroom, a stone porch, and just check out these walls. They knew how to build them to last. Now, if you're sort of on the fence about going rustic, you have nothing to worry about. It's been outfitted with all of the modern amenities you might expect. They have running water, a walk-in shower, central heat and air, and they even deliver breakfast right to your door.
You know, the most common feedback that I hear from guests is just relating to the property. The word pastoral is used a lot, mainly because of the quietness and the peacefulness of the property, and all the animals are a great draw. People who come from Houston and San Antonio and Austin and Dallas-Fort Worth area just love to be out on the grounds and see all the animals.
This place is so relaxing. I know I'm going to have to get up soon and head to the hustle and bustle of Austin, but I think I'm going to take my time this morning and just soak it all in. So what does Austin have the world's largest of? If you guessed D, urban bat colony, you guessed correctly. It's estimated that 1.5 million bats live under the South Congress Bridge near downtown Austin, and sunset near the bridge can become quite the spectacle. After a good night's rest, it was on to Austin, Texas for some of the most outrageous donuts in the world. In Texas, you have to go big or go home. That's why I'm at Gourdough's, home of the big, fat donuts. Austin is known for their food trucks. They have more than any city in the country outside of Portland. So when Gourdough's opened in 2009 with this unique concept, they fit right in. They have since expanded to 3 locations in Austin and San Antonio, including 1 brick and mortar on South Lamar. These donuts are huge and come with all kinds of crazy concoctions you won't find anywhere else. But perhaps what they're best known for is the donut burger. Every artist needs a canvas. For owners Paula and Ryan Palmer, they decided to make their canvas the donut. and their menu is full of masterpieces.
My business partner and I came up with the idea. Basically, we looked at the donut as a blank canvas, and we were looking for something creative to do. We bought an Airstream trailer, and Gourdough's was born. Gourdough's, the name, is a play on the word Gourdough, which is Spanish for fat, but it's the beginning of the word gourmet, G-O-U-R, and then dough, D-O-U-G-H-S, like you make donuts out of. I would say Gourdough's is unique from other donut shops in that we make all of them fresh. So right when you order it, it's dropped in the hot oil, and you get a fresh, hot product every time. We have different flavors, a lot of different combinations. We have meat on a donut, we have donut burgers, so there's a lot more to it than a normal traditional donut shop. We're always coming up with new donuts. Just recently, we started infusing CBD in some of the donuts, so that's our newest thing that we're doing.
Well, I can see what the fuss is all about. They fry each donut to order so that it's hot and fresh when it comes to you. And with all these menu selections, you're bound to find something you like. We're gonna start with some cherry bombs and Maui Wowie coffee before I really dive into the deep end. Cherry bombs are really good. These are glazed donut holes topped with spiced cherries, cinnamon sugar, and honey butter. And the Maui Wowie coffee has rum in it, so you can't go wrong there. Well, these are delectable, but enough with the T-ball. Let's dive into the deep end. This bad boy here is called the Blackout, and oh my, does it look inviting. Let's give this a shot here. It is so rich and mouthwatering. This donut has chocolate fudge icing, brownies, brownie batter, chocolate chips, and chocolate sauce. It is dripping with chocolate gooiness and is so delicious. It is very sweet though. Now on to a childhood favorite, the PB&J. This one is made with house-made peanut butter, grape jelly filling, and topped with peanut butter morsels. Best PB&J I've ever had, hands down. What's surprising too is the donut itself is not that sweet. It's more cakey, very savory. It's heavier than a normal donut, but still fluffy. That actually works really well to offset some of the sweetness you get from some of the toppings. It's actually a really good way to make a donut. After a bit of sweet, or let's face it, a lot of sweet, I'm gonna need something hearty to top this off. So I went with a Nacho Libre. It's a donut burger with Angus beef, refried beans, chili, queso, red onion, pickled jalapenos, and Fritos. It's like a Frito salad, but on a donut. Well, I'm not even sure how to tackle this one. I might have to roll up my sleeves a little bit. I have a feeling this one's probably gonna get a little messy. Oh my goodness, how do I even go about this? Here we go. This did not disappoint. I'm seeing a theme this week. It's also fitting. After all, both chili and Fritos corn chips were invented in Texas. And now it is time for your top 5 countdown of most interesting names for cities and towns in the state of Texas. Coming in at number 5 is a town which almost sounds like it would have been some weird sort of sporting event, TUSSLE. If you're not so sure about that, you could always visit number 4 on our list, Uncertain. Number 3 also sounds like they ran out of ideas, so just called it Earth. Who'd thought it? No, really, who'd thought it? That's the name of the number 2 pick on our list. And coming in at number 1 is a town well suited for a Texas-sized celebration, Hoop and Holler. For my final stop, I decided to stay at a popular mainstream hotel. Nah, just kidding. I'm staying in the trees. Cypress Valley Canopy Tours in Spicewood, Texas allows you to enjoy nature from a bird's eye view with a variety of enchanting tree houses nestled high in 400-year-old cypress trees. This beautiful location is about more than just overnight lodging though. It's also a canopy tour, complete with 5 zip lines.
The best part about staying here is your feet never have to touch the ground. It's time for another adventure.
The canopy tours allow you to soar through the Texas Hill Country on a thrilling eco-adventure. This exhilarating experience lets you fly high through a canopy of old-growth cypress trees. The complete tour includes 5 zip lines, 2 sky bridges, and a rappel.
But now for the real reason we're here, the lodging. These whimsical tree houses provide a magical experience at every turn. And if you're worried about those Texas summers, don't. The tree houses are well insulated and provide heat in the winter and AC in the summer.
Well, business-wise, we figured that we had teenagers of our own, and if we could figure out a way to get a teenager to say yes to do something with their parents, that we'd have a successful business. We love nature. We use the rocks to build with. We use the wood that we get from the property. So it's all just, it's like a symphony, you know, a symphony of creation in harmony with nature, using natural elements, and the idea of how can I do this to honor this land. Our most popular tree house for couples is the Yoki, which is our newest offering, as well as the Loft Haven. They each have their own private bathhouse, and it's super romantic, pretty luxurious to be up in a tree, but still like you're in a New York loft.
So we'll be staying here in the Yoki Treehouse, which I have to say is absolutely breathtaking. It has a 2-story deck with incredible views over a ravine with a creek running through, and inside it's just as impressive. Let's take a look. And I love all the bridges connecting the different tree houses. This isn't the first time while filming this show that I felt like an Ewok. This particular bridge connects the main tree house to a bathhouse and soaking tub. Oh my God, look at this tub. Amazing nature views while you relax and soak in the surroundings. Get it? Soak. Also, I love all the wood once again. Even the accents incorporate reclaimed cypress. All right, let's go take a look at some of the other tree houses. This one is called The Nest, but don't let the name fool you. It's actually their largest tree house. In fact, it's really multiple tree houses within a canopy of trees and designed with a bit of a Swiss Family Robinson feel so that family members can talk to each other from different levels. It has 2 bedrooms, a dining room, and a lounge ideal for playing games or just reading a book. It also has a series of outdoor decks and observation lookouts. And since it's under an active part of their zipline tour, you might have the occasional guest flying overhead. Inside, each of the rooms are circular, a pattern frequently found in nature. And once again, they really bring in the woodsy feel with reclaimed cypress flooring and live edge countertops. Even the tables are built out of cypress trees from the property. The Nest is designed with an arch structure that is mostly self-supporting and is also nestled right next to a small waterfall and a running creek. There's even an outdoor shower for guests that want to rinse off underneath the stars. But don't worry, they have a regular bathhouse too.
These are just 2 of the amazing tree houses you can book for the night, but let's check out some of the others.
What people usually say when they've gotten out of the overnight experience in one of the tree houses is, oh my God, well, I'm going to book next year for our next anniversary, or when can I come back, or that's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
There's so much to do here between the lake, the pool, the zip lining, the event center, but sometimes the best thing to do is absolutely nothing.
Well, it looks like that wraps up another week and another adventure. After spending a week in Texas, I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface. With so much opportunity, amazing food, vibrant culture, and friendly people, I can see why Texans have so much pride for their state. The late Senator William Blakely said it best when he stated, "Texas is neither Southern nor Western. Texas is Texas." As for me, I'm about to head to Alaska, so stay tuned for the next episode of The States You Think You Know.